All right, and we're back into open session from our executive session. And with that, I will turn it over to Tim.
All right. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions on the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 19, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Freetown Board of Selectmen is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort is being made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by accessing the live stream of this meeting on the town's YouTube channel, youtube.com/freetownma, or accessible by visiting freetownma.gov/freecam. In the event the live stream is unsuccessful, I am recording this meeting, and the recording will be posted to the town's YouTube channel as soon as I am able to, following the conclusion of this meeting. And for the record, we have Chairman Lisa Pacheco, we have Selectman Trevor Matthews, Selectman George Grunwald. We have our new town administrator on his first day in the office, Peter Jankowski. Luann Souza, she's here. She's not on camera today. We're short of camera. And also joining us as a guest, we have Library Trustees Chairman Paul Sadek.
All right, great. First, I do want to welcome Peter Jankowski. We searched this country far and wide, and we went all
you found the farthest one away.
And we found him. So I'm going to just say, Peter, if you want to say a couple of words, that would be great.
So far, so good. I'm excited to be here. It's just first day, just trying to meet the people and understand what's going on and trying to find out where the men's room is. But otherwise, things are going well. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We're actually so happy that you came and joined us. We're excited to move forward with you for sure.
Thank you.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to sign the weekly warrants numbered 028 to 032 for the month of January 2021.
Motion granted.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to increase the mileage rate. It's set by the IRS. We do this usually every year for 2021 to 56 cents a mile.
Real quick, did it actually decrease this year, I think? Is that what I saw? I think it decreased. Just, I don't know if that matters to the motion.
We just usually follow whatever they tell us to do.
Yeah, well, motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. All right, I will turn it over and welcome our guest, Paul Sadek. He wants to talk to the board about the James White Library, and I'll turn it over to him. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, George. Hi, Trevor.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Peter.
You too, sir.
Good evening to you, Tim.
Hello.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit just about the library situation that we have. I'm sure Peter doesn't know where they are yet, although I'm sure George and you, Lisa, and Trevor, you know where our libraries are. The Hathaway Library is right across the street from the town hall, and it has not been open for patrons at all since the COVID virus started. And the only thing we have going right now there is book pickup from outside. And the reason for that is that that facility has no bathrooms, no running water. And it's been that way for years. Luckily, we have the parking lot at the town hall that's available to patrons for parking. Also, when we have it open and you have we have it staffed, they have to use the bathroom or they need to get water, they have to go across the street. And that held true for the patrons. Well, now we don't have patrons, but when the patrons come back, they're going to have to go through the same thing. It's not really a very good situation, as you guys well know. You've been in town for a long time. But the James White Library, we've had open, and it's been open pretty much continuously. First, it was just with staff. Then it went to having outside pickup, which we still have. But we've also let up to 3 people into the building, not counting the 2 staff members. But over there, we can't drink the water. The water's terrible. We don't have any hot water in that facility. There's one bathroom, and most of us, if you went in to look at the bathroom, would hesitate to use it. Okay. We don't own the building. For years and years, this building has been owned by the James White Library Trust. The trustees meet once a year, and we just use the facility. We pay for the heat, we pay for the light, and if something breaks down, like the furnace did a couple of years ago, we had to replace that. But generally, we're not allowed to spend any money in that facility. Right now, we're really in need. We could use new carpets in that facility. And the last trustee meeting was about the last trustee meeting of the library, the people that own it, of the James White Library trustees. When they met about a month ago, Lucille, who was one of the members of our board, went to the meeting, and she posed the question to them: would you guys fund new carpets? And the answer, like it is for anything else we ask for in that building, is no. So I'm hesitating. We went out to bid for carpets. It's going to cost us around $8,000 to put carpets in that building. I think it's a waste of our money, really and truly, because I mean, the town, in my estimation, should do something not only with the library situation, but also with the senior center. And I've been an advocate of putting up a joint building. And I don't know where the selectmen stand. I know that I'm on the regular building committee and also the police station subcommittee. And I think that it's time that we are, as a community, we ought to look at this and do something to straighten out our situation with the library and the senior center. I would hope that I know that you've got Andy looking into some engineering studies. Is that correct?
Yes.
So hopefully we'll come up with it. Maybe we can, as a community, sit down and do something. I mean, certainly, I'm hoping that we just don't move forward with this carpet stuff and throw away money. I mean, it's crazy. Now, at the James White Library, that's another issue I want to bring up to you guys. At the James White Library, we have no parking. But for years, we've used the parking lot over at the church, the Congregational Church. They have never given us a problem using about the first 6 to 8 spots for our patrons and for our employees to park there. And I want to bring something to your attention, because this just happened at the last snowstorm. I got a call from the director, Nicole, the library director. She said, "Paul, you got to come over here and look at the parking lot." She says, it wasn't plowed at all, and it's ice, it's solid ice. So I went over and I said, we got to shut this down. We can't let any patron slip and fall. And I said, how about calling the highway department and see if they'd come over and spread some sand? Well, she called down there, and whoever answered the phone said, well, that's a church. We can't do that. So later, she called me back later in the afternoon. I traced down a highway surveyor, Chuck, and I said to him, Chuck, is there anything you guys can do? He says, Paul, I'll have a truck over and dump some sand in the parking lot where the patrons come in, which he did. So they've done this in the past for us, the highway department. But it's always, we have to call. We have to call and say, hey, will you do this? And it's after the fact. It's after somebody gets there and says, oh, we can't open up because we got the situation. I just like you guys. I mean, I talked with Chuck again, and I said to him, hey, if the Board of Selectmen has no issue with you running the plow for 8 spots and maybe throwing some sand down, would you have any problem doing it? Absolutely not. So I just want to bring it to your attention that, I mean, if we have there's nothing going on now because there's no snow, but if we have another storm, I just don't want to go through this, get a call saying, oh, we can't open. And you know what I'm talking about here?
No, I mean, the first thing I think is the safety of whomever is going to try to walk across the street and in that parking lot. We wouldn't want anybody to get hurt. So I, for one, do not have a problem with taking care of the parking lot like we have for all these many years. So you have my consensus on that. I don't know how the board members feel.
Unless the church has some problem with us plowing it, which I can't imagine them objecting to that, I don't see any kind of issue there.
So can we get that up? Can we tell Chuck that, and then I'm sure he'll do it.
George,
George?
Yes.
do you have an issue
fine.
with them using, plowing the
No,
parking
no,
lot?
not at all. No, not
Okay.
at all. I
All right.
agree with,
So that, I mean, that'll solve our problem. I mean, how many times are we gonna get snow anyway? But, you know,
right.
but I want to just go back to.
Hopefully 0.
Well, you're right. I just want to go back to, yeah, I really would hope that we've talked about this. I've been in town government for a long time, and we've talked about building a library a long time ago, and nothing has ever come up from it. I think this is the time where we can do something as a community with both to meet the needs of the seniors and meet the needs of the seniors that use the library. Besides, most of the people using the library are seniors. So I don't know. It's just my thought, and I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention.
All right, well, all right, let me take a step back. Yes, Andy is looking over 3 proposals right now, and then we'll talk together, both as a building committee and the Board of Selectmen, once those proposals come in and we know which direction we're going to go into. So I think we'll have a better understanding or a clear understanding of which way we're gonna go. As for the immediate time, who's going to be taking care of the James White Library? I mean, what is going on with are they going to be taking care of the hot water, or like?
Oh, no, we don't have hot water. There's no hot water heater there.
Okay.
They never had hot water. In fact, maybe about 6 weeks ago, we had no water. And it took us almost 2 weeks to get a plumber there through the town to get it fixed. And that problem was they have a small storage tank on top of the jet pump that's in the back room. And the tank, the small tank, had a leak in it, in the bladder. So we couldn't get any water pressure. Couldn't even flush the toilet. The toilet, there's only one. So, I mean, we're never going to have hot water there unless the town agrees to put it in. I don't think we should.
How about an Insta heater?
Yeah, the only trouble is the only thing we have. Well, maybe if you can get an instant heater that works on number 2 fuel oil, because we don't have any gas there unless we brought in some propane to do it. You know, the instant heat would work perfectly. It would have to get plumbed in.
Yeah, but
You know, I mean, it's you gotta go up there.
It's a temporary fix.
Yeah, Peter, you gotta go up there and look at the place. If you want to meet me there, let me know.
sure.
Let me ask you this. The next item on the agenda, I believe, is the old police station. Is that anything that we should entertain, the old police station library? You're shaking your head, so I'm assuming not.
Because I mean, the old police station has the same problems. I don't know if you read the report that Carlton sent everybody, has the same issues, right? There's cement walls, you can't tear them down. The bathroom has leaks in it. There's no AC in that building. There's leaks everywhere, so you can't keep the heat in that building. I mean, so one of the things that we had talked about prior was to knock down that building because there was no sense in keeping it, because you can't do anything. You can't make an addition to it. You can't, there's cement walls. You cannot do anything. So one of the things we talked about, the land is more valuable than the building itself, right? So one of the things that we did talk about before we were talking about the COA part was doing the joint COA/library on that parcel of land, because the parcel of land where the police station was 1.2 million in excavation alone, right? So if we're going to build a library or a COA, we want to try to stay away from that land. And that's why where the old police station, that land is more valuable. Could you build onto the current COA? That's right, George. That's what we're looking into, whether we can do an addition or whatever is going to happen at that COA. So I would say hold on to everybody. Like, let's not jump to any conclusions on what we're going to do. I think that we all have to have clear heads, and we do have to look at what's best for the town, the library, the COA. And, you know, I know we are going to
town hall, right? I mean, we need a town hall at some point soon.
Right. And the long-term solution for the town hall was because there is money in the Historical Society, Massachusetts overall to save old buildings. One of the solutions was to build from the town hall over and connect to the old schoolhouse and rehab that whole thing. So yeah, there's a lot of things, but that was actually, and everybody voted, that was the last thing on the agenda. The first thing was the police department. The second thing was the library. Third was COA, and fourth was the town hall. But certainly all those things. And once we like have a plan, like just throw it out there and we say, okay, we're going to build a COA library and we're going to do it where the old police station is, then the COA becomes available for an overflow of town hall offices, right? Or, you know what I mean? Because that is a newer building. That is a building that is airtight and has AC and can be used. I mean, so I mean, there are things that we all have to like look at and like envision and you know, kind of look forward and see what's best. But
excuse me.
Yep.
To answer George's question regarding the use of the police station. I worked at that place for about 35 years. I mean, because of the construction of the police station, you can't open it up. You couldn't open it up to use it as a library. Just the way it's constructed, with the type of roof that they have on it and everything. So I was against when they first talked about tearing down that building. I was against doing that when I don't know, about a year ago, the guys were talking about it. But you know what? When you think about it, you'd spend more money trying to make that building work. I mean, we dumped it. When I was on the board, we dumped a lot of money in that. Remember, Lisa, for the heating system and everything else, and we still couldn't mitigate.
And it didn't work.
The infiltration of the water.
Yeah. Yeah, the water is an issue over there. I mean, so
Basically,
a lot
non-starter then.
It's good for a warehouse. It's not good for an office, and I think that we have to wait and see, you know, what Andy comes back with, and I think that we have to sit down and talk about it and look at the numbers and see where the numbers jive.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me talk to you guys tonight, and I certainly want to tell you that, like, I'm on the subcommittee for the police station. I certainly would like to serve on any subcommittee for another building, whether it's library or a senior center or both, because I am a senior. You can't tell that, George. I know that because I'm older than you.
What was that last statement? You were older than me?
You think I'm older than you, but I'm not.
I don't think so.
I know.
All right,
you very
thanks,
much.
Paul. But I think that Peter or Tim will reach out to Chuck tomorrow and let him know to keep doing what he's done in the past and taking care of that parking lot.
All right, and I'll tell Nicole that she doesn't have to worry anymore.
Right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right, next, goals for the new town administrator, Peter. Did everybody send him? I have not sent them. I kind of went over them with Tim a little bit this morning. Have anybody sent over them?
I
Go ahead.
I sent 3 or 4 today to Luann and Tim.
To Tim, okay. George?
I sent something over, and but one of the points that I made, and I'd like to throw it out to see what you guys think, is it's nice for us to throw some goals out there, and that will make it relatively easy to deal with. But I thought that if we gave him a few weeks to get the lay of the land and let him come up with some goals, it might be very enlightening for us too. He may have a totally different outlook on what he sees than what we see, because we've been looking at this for so long. Like a fresh look, if you will, might be good.
I mean, I like that. I like the kind of a hybrid approach, right? Where we have some of our goals,
Yeah.
and then we have a mix of his as well. So
Yeah.
that, you know, I think that makes sense to me.
I agree. There are just some things like contract negotiations, things like that have to be done. So, I mean, that would be part of his goals, but I totally agree. Like, there are things that's why we went across country, so he could bring some, you know, some things to us.
Mhm.
So I'm all for that.
Okay.
So Tim will send out all the goals, and then you'll just make sure they're not doubled, right?
Okay. Yeah, if you want to send me your goals, I can combine
Yep.
them into one document, and I'll distribute it as needed.
Okay, sounds good.
And we'll discuss this at our next meeting.
Okay, perfect. All right. Future of previous,
Kind of talked
Please.
about.
yeah, I mean, I know that there was something from the building department that wanted to turn it into the water, not the water, the health department, building department. And I know that you guys read that, you know, what Carlton sent us. When we said that we were making a separate building department and board of health, I didn't mean tomorrow. I meant that's our long-term goal. Like, that's something that we need to look at in the future. So I wasn't necessarily meaning that we're going to do that this month, but I just think it's something, because there are some overlaps, right? So we'll really have to look at that.
I mean, the building does not seem like a place I would want to work in. Okay, that much. You know, I mean,
There's no windows. There's nothing there.
Having an office in a jail cell would be a little weird. Yeah.
So working with this, and I'm gonna just throw this to the board, and we can, you know, vote on it, consensus, whatever you want to do. Been working on this food pantry, and because we can use it as just a warehouse right now, and we have a truckload of food, that maybe we could move all of that food pantry stuff into the old police station for now, until we have a longer term solution. So we can move that trailer out of the school.
Yeah, that makes sense. You have to keep the place heated anyways, right? Because of the pipes, because the whole COA and all that situation. I mean, that makes sense to me. You know, it's at least it's dry, it's storage, right? I mean,
And we wouldn't have to insure it like to the max, because we're really not using it. We're just storing things there. So I think we just have to double check on that, but I don't think it's going to cost us any more. Probably it may even cost us less.
I don't know. Yeah,
George, what are you thinking?
No, that's fine. Sounds good.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, even if the COA is running out of room and they want to store some of the stuff over there for the brown bag stuff, we can do that too.
Yeah.
So it might be a good
COA
thing.
they have other storage. They have like a reefer truck up behind there.
They have a refrigerator,
Yeah.
a freezer.
They have the freezer, and I think they have another truck, like a big storage. I mean, I don't know, maybe if they're renting that, if potentially they could, you know, we could stop renting that if they move it to the police station. Something we probably can consolidate some stuff, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a short-term solution, because who knows if we're going to get any more food. We're hoping. We did it twice. Again, we did it on December 30th. It was amazing. We did it short-term, 2 hours in the morning, and there were tons of people there. Like, you have to go. It's a sight to behold.
Are you a USDA club site? Are you a USDA site? Do you get like the powdered milk and USDA? Are you part of that program?
USDA.
Yeah,
So Stop and Shop is donated all of the food to us,
Okay.
because Stop and Shop is in town, a trailer full of boxes from the floor to the ceiling, full. The whole thing was full. So we got together, a bunch of us, and then divided it all out and had people come in. But we have never looked at, maybe the COA has looked into that. So you might want to touch base with the COA.
Yeah.
Do they run the pantry, the food pantry? The
No,
COA?
so
Well,
the food pantry, yeah, we just started the food pantry, on December 23rd, basically. Yeah, it just kind of happened. We had been working on it, but we secured a trailer full of food, and I can't tell you how it happened. It just, a community of like-minded people got together. There are about 10 of us, and we got together and we did it, and it worked out really well.
Okay.
So is that a vote? Can I have a motion to use that police station for that purpose right now?
I'll grant that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. Next, town meeting signs. George, this is your wheelhouse.
I've sent in the information on the temporary signs. There were a few $100s. Did you get that, Tim? I'm
Yep,
not
I have
sure.
that right here. I actually had a little bit of a different suggestion. I don't know I don't know how, where exactly you travel, but I've noticed in the town of Rainham, they have these like large, like street signs. They're probably about maybe yay big. And it just says like Rainham next town meeting. And then there's a big empty spot that when they have a town meetings, they just plop something up there that gives the date. I was thinking maybe something like that might be a little more cost effective, because these signs that you had come up with, they are 3 feet tall and they're not permanent. They're not going to be affixed to anything. So I'm not sure if those would be the best option for us. But I was thinking if we were to look into those kinds of street signs, like the ones Rainham has, we can even maybe, I don't know the cost for them yet, but I'm sure we can get in touch with the highway department to get a quote on that. Maybe we can get multiple ones, maybe 10 of them, and put them all around different busier locations, because we don't really have just that one location that's or 2 locations that are just perfect for a sign like that.
No, if any sign is fine with me. I just would like to see something out there.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're suggesting, we can have more spots for them, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like we're almost going back to the original discussion, getting a 4x8 plywood type sign with.
Right. These will just look a little bit more, professional,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
painted plywood. I have a screenshot actually off of Google Street View. I'll send it your way, George, and we can look at it from there.
All right. Can we say that Tim and I will decide on what to get, and so we can get it ordered?
Yep, that's perfect. And then I think long-term solution, we can use those, but I still think that I'd like to put a warrant article or put it in the capital budget to fix up the signs that we have now, or buy new ones.
I think we had decided that, Lisa, right?
Yeah, all right. So I just want to make sure that we're going to do both, that's all. So
Yep.
that'll be, okay, great. All right, we're good. Moving on. Agreement with JJ Manning's Auctioneers. I need a motion to sign the agreement.
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. Okay, next, snowplow contract for 2021 for Michael Trahan. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion granted.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, cameras at the transfer station. George?
Okay. Last time we spoke, we discussed the police station, and that was price prohibitive, I think. But there was some feeling that it would be good to have it at the police station. How are we with that? Personally, I think it's way too expensive for what we're going to get. I have another quote here from Comcast that would be, they would install it and we would just pay a monthly fee. And let me get the quote here. All right. Right now, we're paying Comcast $154 a month. And about $100 of that is a business telephone line that I don't believe we need. Now, I've been told we do need that for the credit card usage. It goes through that line. But I know that there's different ways of doing that. You could do that with a cell phone. There are attachments to cell phones that make that happen. I don't know too much about them as far as cost. But if we replaced the business phone line that's there with a cell phone for Vicky, a cell phone typically runs $300 a month or something. And no, what did I say? $30 a month. It's a lot cheaper than 100 something.
Our plans are actually $60 a month, George.
For cell phone?
Yes.
Wow. Now, why are we paying so much more for a cell phone than?
It's either $50 or $60. I can verify.
Really? Have we discussed that with Comcast? Because are we going through Comcast for the cell phones?
No, we use for Verizon.
Well, if we were to switch, if we discuss this with Comcast and switch the service to Comcast, I think you'll see a huge savings.
So are you looking to switch everybody to Comcast or just the transfer station?
I'm only addressing the transfer station. But if we're paying $60 for everybody, I think it might be worth looking into. I know when I switched to Comcast on my cell phone, it was a considerable saving. But now that Peter is here, maybe Peter could follow up on this.
Our Verizon cell phones are $51.49 a month.
Yeah, that's up there. I think it might be worth looking at Comcast for this. And if we went strictly to Comcast, the cell phones would be cheaper, and maybe we could get rid of the landline. That's $100 a month. And the fee for just the cameras, let me see, where was that? He lumped it in. Well, I don't have the exact number, so I don't want to give you wrong information. But we could do this and save money. Would be no additional cost. I mean, our total expenses would stay the same, and we could have 2 or 3 cameras installed by Comcast. They would be monitored by Comcast. So
one thing to remember with the Comcast contract is our Comcast agreement, whatever it is it's typically bundled pricing. So it might show that you're spending $40 a month for, your phone service, but if you were to subtract that off your bill, the internet might jump $30. So you might be only saving $10. Because I remember at one point I had taken a phone line off my own account, and I ended up paying. Actually, I think I ended up paying more for the internet doing it that way.
No, that's a good point, Tim. But what's his name? Dominic Ciano, the account executive that gave me the information. The way he presented the numbers, it would benefit us quite a bit, and still get the cameras. But again, maybe this is something that Peter can look into. I can give him Dominic's information so he can get in touch with him, and then he can look at the whole picture.
Yeah, maybe he even has a different idea or something that can get what we need and have it work the way we want it to work, right?
Exactly. So Peter, if you like, I can meet with you and give you all the information that I have.
Sure.
And you can take it from there.
Sure. I was I was going to the transfer station. I think it's open tomorrow, correct? That was-
Thursday, it opens on Thursdays.
Oh, Thursdays. Okay.
Thursdays through
Yeah.
Sunday. There we go.
Okay.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
All right. So,
Yes,
Peter,
sir.
I'll give you a call tomorrow, or
Yes,
if not tomorrow, the day after, and maybe we can get together for a half hour.
Sounds
And,
good.
All right. But before we quit this conversation, I just want to make sure we're okay with not doing the police station system.
I want to see what it's going to be altogether, because if it is going to be more money, or not as, if it's going to be more money, then it might be a better route to go police station way, but we wouldn't be able to do that until we went and put it into the capital budget, right? So that would be for town meeting approval. But if it's a small amount, then, and it gets the job done the way you envision it, then I think, yeah, we don't need to do the police station way.
Okay, yeah, because this will be very little expense to do it through Comcast.
Okay.
And if we change our mind down the road, there is no capital investment, and we can always change our mind and go the other route.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you so much, George.
Okay,
All right, next we have a request for transfer for the Zerg fund for the town administrator personnel and the transfer station personnel. So the first one is for the town administrator. Amount of request is $8,646.95. Do I have a motion to move this along to the finance committee?
what is this for?
This is to pay our town administrator.
Oh, payroll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
And my wife thinks that's very important.
Yeah, no,
And I like his wife.
Yeah,
oh, geez.
she hasn't really met her, but that's okay.
I met her once
Yeah.
through virtual, and
Yeah.
she was watching out for him, that's for sure.
All
Yes, ma'am.
right, motion made?
Do you have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes,
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. Okay, and the amount of the request for the highway department is $10,500. It's for the transfer station operator so now we would have the transfer station opened up the entire time. And Tim, you want to explain a little bit of the background on that?
Yep. Well, it's not actually to make it open 7 days a week. We haven't actually gone
Not yet, right?
that route.
It's
Yeah.
it's getting there.
Right. So we have actually 2 applicants now. Both of them are internal candidates, which could be a great option for us, I think. And when we initially were visualizing this position, I think we were looking at a step 1 employee. The 2 employees in question both are at step 5. So we just need to, before we can look at, possibly hiring either of those ones, we just need to get the funding in place for it.
I'm sorry, I lost track of this. What employee are we talking about?
This will be a full-time transfer station attendant as opposed to a small army of part-time people that
Now
are just
this-
working here and there.
Is this in addition to Vicky?
Yes, this will be basically essentially to replace Vicky, as Vicky's got the promotion to supervisor.
So remember, we were at one time saying we'll use per diem people because we had a part-time person, but the part-time person quit. So then we said, okay, we'll use per diem people, but the per diem people, I don't know, we didn't have a lot of them. It wasn't working out. And then the board talked about, oh, it'd be really good if we could have the transfer station opened up 7 days a week instead of the 3 days or the 4 days or whatever it's open now, right? So now anybody could go at any time, and the 2 full-time people would overlap at the busy times and then each take a day on the non-busy times, sort of like that, like a schedule. That's what we voted on previously. Now we need to get the funding in place in order to do that.
Okay,
Do you have a motion to approve to send it over to the finance committee?
Yep, motion granted,
Do I have a second?
second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. All right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from December 21st and December 28th?
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. And I'll turn it over to the Personnel Board.
So the first item 15 is the pay rate and the vacation time for the Board of Health agent. So I saw the letter that we received from Tanya. Is it Dunal? Am I pronouncing
I
that?
believe so.
Okay, it's a different spelling than I've seen of that name.
Right.
So it's a little tricky. So do we have to have a discussion about this first, or do you want me to explain the?
I can give a little bit of background if you'd like.
Great.
The board is empowered based on different bylaw changes we've made in recent years to set the pay rate for the Board of Health agent, and also a little bit more vacation time based on the types of. It was an effort to try to get more competitive in the job market.
Yep.
So Ms. Dinal is a exemplary candidate. She's requested a pay rate of basically $1 more than what was currently in place for the last Board of Health agent, and the bylaws allot her in a week's worth of vacation in the first year. She's requested to make that 2 weeks. So she's basically asking for an extra $1 and an extra week of vacation for the
And
first
to
year.
work remotely on Fridays, correct?
Yes, that's also correct.
So, working remotely from Fridays is going to open up a can of worms, because this is just me speaking, because if a business needs to come in or a homeowner needs to come in because they need something for their septic for the weekend or something like that, that's kind of hard to do if she's not in the office. Plus, I'm not sure that the bylaw gives us that. I'm not sure if the bylaw gives us that authority. I know it does for the rate of pay and the vacation time, but I'm not sure about the other part of that. So I'm not, right now, for me, I would make a motion to increase to the $1 more an hour and add the 5 additional vacation days.
I spoke to her, and that is something that she really would like. And what we're talking about too is, you have to remember, this is Friday, and Friday is a half a day in town hall. So you're talking about 4 hours a week that she would do remote. We've set that example in the past. And I have a feeling that if we don't go along with this, that she may not take the position. This is important to her.
I know, George, but I don't know if the bylaw gives us that authority. And I think before we vote on that, we need to get that.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Right,
If you
so
wanna-
for right now, the bylaw is pretty restrictive. That is something that the townspeople vote on, the bylaw. So I'm not sure it gives us the authority to do that. I know it does for the 5 days, and I know it does for the salary, but I'm not sure about the working that remotely.
Can we have Peter look at the bylaws to see if it can work? Because sorry about that.
Popular guy tonight, George. Wow.
The problem I see is that we've done it, and all of a sudden.
With contract employees, not with bylaw employees.
Yeah.
All right. Well, can we look at it and see, and then discuss it at the next meeting?
I think we want to at least approve the 2 things that we know we can tonight, right? Because it's effective. I mean, her appointment would be effective today, right? So just for payroll, all that kind of stuff, I think we want to get that in motion. Then maybe we can bring this back up once we do a little more research on it.
Well, I don't think we should dilly-dally around with this. I think we need to do this pretty quick so as to not to lose her. She's a very, very good candidate, and I would hate to lose her over. I hate to lose her for that. I would put a high priority on getting this done. How about this? Let Peter research this and make it approval on what he comes up with, if he says we can't do it, then we can't. If he says we can, then we can let her know that it's okay.
Actually, just while you're talking, George, I know exactly where to look. So,
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Article 10, 10.6, work week, 10.6A to be exact. Work week, the work week for positions in the classification and compensation plans shall be established and maintained by the Board of Selectmen based on the needs of the town.
Okay.
So I would take that to mean that we could do this if we want. And it's basically at the discretion of the board.
Okay.
I mean, Lisa, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, me personally, I'm advocating for myself and my other job to work from home forever. So I feel a bit of hypocritical if I don't go along with this. And I understand how it can be important as people to have that 4-day work, 4 days in the office and 1 day home. But I totally see your side of the argument here. So, but
Eventually what's going to happen is we're not going to have anybody work on Fridays. So we'll end up all having a 4-day work week, right? Because it's going to pit one bylaw appointment of employee against another, right? Because Jeff has to come in and work on Friday mornings, and the COA director and, the library person has to come in and work on Fridays. And now all of a sudden we made a special thing. You guys can vote on it. I'm just letting you know how I feel personally. So I'm fine with that. We don't have to always agree.
yeah, no, and I think it's like we really need a health agent right now. And if George is saying that this is very important to her, I mean, I think that.
Just be aware that you're opening up a can of worms. I'm just letting you know.
Well, let's take the
I'm
worst case.
I'm not sure how a board of health agent can work from home when there's septic systems to be looked at and when there's homeowners that need things to be done. Like, I'm not sure how you do that. And then what happens to Nadine when somebody comes to the window and there's not a board of health agent there? I don't know. I'm not a board of health agent. I just know that office is crazy all the time. So to take 4 hours away from being there is a lot. Like, when do you do inspections? When do you do, all the regulations are changing. I don't know enough about it, so I'm just gonna stay away from it.
Well, how about this? Little compromise. We tell her that we'll try it out for 6 months to make sure that it works. I'm not sure if she'll accept that, but.
No, I think if you guys want to keep her and you feel strongly about it, I think you should just go forward and vote for it.
Okay. I mean,
And then
I'll make the motion that we do it and give her Friday at office at home.
I mean, another option you could do is tell her she's allowed to do it, but she's encouraged to come in. So you can kind of play both sides too. It's totally up to you guys.
If somebody said that to me, I would feel very uncomfortable with it, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Encouraged to come in, that has connotations.
Okay.
I mean, and the only reason I'm pushing for this, Lisa, is I think she's an exceptional candidate. And all the other ones that we had applied didn't even come close.
I agree. I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. And I think that you're going to find that now every other bylaw employee are going to come to you asking to work remotely on Fridays. And then we're going to have an issue because town hall, we might as well just close town hall on Fridays. And then how do we pay people if we're going to start closing town hall on Fridays?
Well,
that's just me.
I know it could be an issue, but I would say, let's see where it goes and revisit it in 6 months or a year. And, but I think because of everything that's going on right now,
Which is more of a reason because of COVID, it's more of a reason to have the Board of Health agent in the office on a Friday because of everything that's going on right now. Anyway, I don't want to argue about it. It's fine. I stated my case, and you guys are going to vote on it.
Okay.
So you made the motion, and Trevor, you're in charge because you're the chair. So I'm not going to second the motion.
Can I second?
Yes, you can second.
Yes, you can.
All in favor?
Aye.
No,
Selectman Pacheco,
no.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes. right, next we have, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Tara Denault, is that what we're going with? As Board of Health Agent, effective January 4th, 2021. And expiring June 30th, 2021.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes. And then finally, I will entertain a motion to appoint Ali Pereira as an election worker effective January 4th, 2021, expiring August 31st, 2021.
I'll make that
Second.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
All right. And I
All right.
have no updates on anything under old business, so we're good. I'm good to
All
go.
right. Perfect. I don't think I have anything under old business right now. But I think that, again, we need to review the contracts. Also the information that Tim's going to send us through the Board of Health. And I think that's it. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. And Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. And motion,
Thank you.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
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 Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very
right.
much.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Aye.